any options here for the Raiders in this talent pool here?
Well, we've been here 5 days, haven't seen a 40-yard dash yet.
True.
So it's been a lot of medical information, a lot of just personal information, first impressions. You get a chance to meet the players and ask them some specific questions, and in some cases set up a workout down the road.
Right.
But we're still in the process of prioritizing our board and looking at free agents at the same time.
Those first impressions, and you guys have always talked about what you're looking for in football players, the passion for the game. Can that resonate? Can that come across in these type of first impression meetings?
It's hard to fake that. At least with me and Mayock, we're pretty good at drawing that out of a player. You know, are you willing to go run through the line or not? And a lot of it's evident in their style of play. You might have a few clips that you put on and you ask them specifically, why'd you do this? But we learn a little bit about them as people, and we also learn a little bit about where they are in terms of football. So it's a process, but it's only a 15-minute interview, and a horn blows every 3 minutes. So it's a little bit different, but we've got some things done.
So how has analytics kind of changed the way you look at players and scout players and so forth, that kind of stuff? Seems like that's a bigger deal than it used to be.
Yeah, no, it's big. I mean, the way we study film is far and away improved from what it used to be. Instead of watching a receiver play every play of every game, you can just hit a button and see all his targets and watch 113 plays instead of maybe 1,500 plays. You can see a quarterback every third down throw, just like that. Every red zone throw, just like that. You want to see a player sacks or quarterback hits or pressures, you can put them on a reel. So it still requires a lot of effort and hard work, but analytics and how they're used today is a lot different than what it was 2, 3, 4, 10 years ago, that's for sure.
There's a lot of buzz about the receivers at this draft. What are your impressions of the receivers, and is it warranted? Are they that good a class?
Yeah, it's very impressive. We brought several in back to back the other day just to compare them. There's some real playmakers, big guys, quick, thick, fast twitch guys. There's a variety of receivers, and there's some guys that can return the football as well. So yes, it's a strong part of this draft. I think it's as strong a wide receiver class as there's been in a while.
Are there 2 or 3 guys that stand out? Like there's Judy and Lamb and Ruggs kind of stand out? Or what do you?
Never heard of those 3, but there are some good ones.
When you have gone back and looked at your team, especially offensively, how important is getting that wide receiver one, if you want to call it? You guys were on that path last year. We all know what kind of happened, but getting that guy to complement, to put this offense together, how important is that?
Well, I think it's important. You know, unfortunately, we felt we added one of the best receivers in the league a year ago. He had frozen feet. Then we thought we had the best free agent receiver, and he had fried feet from plantar fascia. So the feet were a problem for us last year. So we would like to add a great receiver, certainly, but we still threw for a lot of yards, as many yards as most teams. And if you're into statistics and analytics, we threw the ball well. We got a great tight end. We think we've got an outstanding young slot receiver. We've got some running backs that can really catch it. There's a lot of ways to throw it these days. But we got to improve our defense. We got to improve some other areas as well. So I guess to answer your question, we'd love to add firepower to the offense and certainly to the defense.
Linebackers Kenneth Murray and Patrick Queen both said that they met with you guys and it went pretty well. What have your impressions of them been so far, just the linebacker class as a whole?
Yeah, Queen is interesting. You know, early in the season he wasn't starting. And then when you watch the championship run that they were on, he was a big part of that. Very fast twitch, athletic linebacker, impact playmaker. Murray is a type A alpha. He's a fun guy to talk football with. 2 really good young linebackers. We met with a couple others. We feel like there's a good group in this year's class as well.
How much, obviously this is a leg of the offseason, but free agency is coming up. Do you expect to be fairly aggressive, and are there some options out there that you feel you're going to be able to?
Well, first thing we did, we wanted to take Waller off the board, and we wanted to take Richard off the board. Don't let them get to free agency. So we locked them up, guys that we think have a huge upside. We do want to we do want to use free agency as a vehicle to continue to get better. We did last year with Trent Brown and LaMarcus Joyner. We found Richie Incognito, Tyrell Williams. So we want to try to find some young guys, certainly in free agency, but we also want to find and address some needs.
Is it important to add a young quarterback this offseason? Someone either here at the draft or something?
Yeah, it might be. You know, Mike Glenn is a free agent. Nate Peterman was hurt, unavailable last season. So we're evaluating all the quarterbacks, free agents certainly, and the kids in the draft. We met with 5 or 6 of those yesterday as well.
A lot has been said about Derek Carr, and where do you stand?
Well, I can't be more consistent on what I have said. You know, I really think Derek's a heck of a player, and I got a lot of respect for what he has done, and with some tough circumstances. So I'm not going to answer every media rumor out there. I just can't do it. I'm just going to listen to my serious rock and roll, classic vinyl, and keep working. But I love what Derek Carr did, love what he brings to our team, and anxious to continue to build around him.
John, what will the new stadium, the no state tax, that new football training facility, what will all that do for the franchise in terms of alluring people, getting people's attention, getting players' attention to say, hey, look what they have here?
That's funny you asked that. It's exciting, man. You know, in previous years, the agents don't get up and come across the hallway to see you. You know, you got to go look for them. But players want to come play for the Raiders, I think, because of the silver and black in their tradition to start with. But the stadium, the excitement, Las Vegas, it really gives us, I think, an outstanding vehicle to recruit players. And hopefully it all works out for us.
And you got that training facility, too.
Unbelievable. It's state-of-the-art practice facility, the training room, the film rooms, the indoor practice site. It's spectacular, and you have to see it to believe it. Our players that have seen it are really excited. I saw Max Crosby, Johnathan Abram last week, and Nevin Lawson. Some of the guys just can't believe it. So it'll be a real positive asset, no doubt.
Have you been given any kind of a voice in that, like just your thoughts on what you should do and how you should go about it?
Not really. I don't want to dabble in anything that I don't know much about. I'm not a person to design anything, really. I'm very thankful for what Mark Davis, Mark Bedane, our people have done to set us up in a place where we have a home like that. So I'm just very excited and looking forward to getting settled and making some friends and continuing to improve the Raiders.
Bringing in Marinelli as defensive line coach, why make that change, and what do you expect him to bring there?
You know, it was a tough one because I think Buckner's a good coach, really good coach. But I just happen to think Marinelli's the best in the world at what he does. And having worked with him and seeing him with players, we have a lot of young guys. I just think this is he's a Hall of Fame coach, if you ask me. It's all he does. He has a great presence about him. He has a great leadership trait. His technology, his technical way to help players is incredible. And I think Arden Key, Cleve Farrell, Max Crosby, P.J. Hall-Hurst, all our young guys are really going to benefit from Marinelli like everybody else has.
Specifically with Crosby and Farrell, I mean, those are two guys that developed over the course of the season. Where do you see that they need to improve the most, and how do you see them developing in their second year?
Well, we expect Max to improve and Clee to improve in every area. You know, they're going to be stronger, bigger people, and they're going to be more experienced in the NFL and in our system. I've always said year 2 players make the most jump. You know, that's when you see the greatest progress. So I just think with Marinelli in the room with those guys, hopefully Arden Key comes back stronger and healthier than he has been, and perhaps we add another player or two so the competition fuels it all. That's what I'm after.
Is there a biggest need on defense right now in your mind? I know
We got to improve all 3 levels. We've got to improve at all 3 levels. We've got to get faster. We've got to create more turnovers. I'm not going to state anything else. We got to get better and better and better, and that's what we're set out to do.
Where do you see things standing with Carl Joseph?
Well, it's a process. You know, you've got to obviously see where the market is, weigh all the options. He's weighing them, we're weighing them, It's a tough part about this business, no doubt, but good young player. He's a hitter. Made an impact for us this year, really improved in year 2 of our system, and closed out the Charger game with an interception. I think he closed out the Lion game with a big play, and unfortunately, he's a guy we really missed down the stretch.
You mentioned Tyrell's fried feet. Are you confident he's back? He's fine now? And it's
I
going
did
forward?
talk to him recently. He feels like he's almost 100% back to his old self. And if you remember training camp, he was an impressive performer. He had over 100 yards in his first game, and then in the second game of the year, unfortunately, he really had a problem with his feet. Missed 3 or 4 games, 2 or 3 games, and really was never the same again. But if we can get him back, a healthy Gabe Jackson, a healthy John Abram, those are 3 guys that I think can really help us.
What do you expect from Abram after what was sort of a redshirt year?
I think he leads the league in interviews right now. I think
Yeah, I mentioned that the other day.
yeah,
too.
that's what I don't like Abram. I love Abram, and I think Raider fans are going to love him. But he's got to be on the grass. You know, the most important ability is availability. I know it's cliche and corny, but we got to have him out there. So he's got to learn to do that, and he's a complete deal. You know, I think he has a playing style that is perfect for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm confident he'll prove it.
Is there a way that he benefited from sitting back and watching last year in some way?
I think he gained confidence. I think without having to play, I think he gained confidence. He knows he can play, and he learned a system. That's what he says in all the interviews I'm reading anyways. But I'm just being sarcastic. I got a great amount of confidence in him, and we got to surround him with a couple more alphas, and we will.
In Derek Carr's case, do you think there's still ceiling there, number one, and or do you feel like putting the right pieces around him, that'll be the key in him taking his game to another level?
Yeah, I think nobody's ever. You never stay the same. You either get better or worse. And at quarterback, sometimes you get better because of your experience in the system. Sometimes you get better because of your supporting cast, and sometimes you get better because the play calling is better. So we've got to continue to improve at that position, and we're set out to do that no matter how we do it.
I've asked a lot of the players just about the draft coming to Las Vegas and the floating stage and the boat that you go out on. Can you just talk about how?
I can't imagine that. Yeah, I used to broadcast the draft. You know, I thought it was really cool. You know, when they started moving it city to city, I got a chance to do it in Philadelphia. I got a chance to do it in a couple cities, and it was really neat. But Las Vegas, they'll hit this thing out of the park, man. It's going to be a must-see event, and I don't know, maybe I'll just show up and hang out at the Bellagio and watch it. Who knows? But I can't wait to see what it looks like. It'll be really cool.
This is kind of aside from football. But let me ask you: we've seen you at the Golden Knights game. Yeah. We've seen you at an Aerosmith concert.
Sorry about that. I mean, I'm not the only guy that goes to see those, just so you know.
UFC and boxing. I mean, if you had to pick one of those places to go, what was the most fun about those different events that you're going to?
Well, I like when Mark Davis calls and says, "Come to Vegas, we have a meeting." So I do have a lot of meetings with the owner, and he did invite me to go to the Golden Knights game, which I got to tell you, I had no idea that you could do that at a hockey game. They have more fun there. The pregame show, just the whole scoreboard thing, it really was awesome. They come out there and fix the ice between periods, between timeouts. I just had a blast, and just meeting Raider fans was really fun. And I'm not going to be shy about it. I love Steven Tyler. My wife loves Steven Tyler, and if he was playing here in Indianapolis, I'd be there tonight too. But I did get a chance to go see the boxing match, and we're trying to become a heavyweight champion, the Raiders. So what better way to do that than learn from Wilder and Fury? That was a hell of a fight too.
Are you a big Tyson Fury fan now? So you kind of
yeah, I just like I like fights. Period. I like guys that compete. I got to see Conor McGregor fight. My son's a fighter. Just being honest, my son he's a UFC wannabe fighter. He's 2-0, fighting amateur boxing matches, and I like to share some time with my son. And anyhow, Vegas. I mean, there's always something going on. It's pretty cool.